Control.
Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson.
Control.
Everything you need to know about new and used cars.
Control.
Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air.
Control.
Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin.
Control.
Because you're on cruise control. Cruise control. Cruise control.
And welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. It's that time again. Fred Staab and none other than Les Jackson. We are heading out on the automotive highway. Oh,
Yep.
Is there another kind of highway? But we're heading out on it.
Well, as long as it's a highway, we're fine.
Life is a highway, right? As the song
That
goes.
is true.
So we have got a lot of information for you. We're starting out this hour with details on the Kia EV9. Some say this is the electric Telluride, and they're hoping they have a big hit like the Telluride has been for Kia. But we've got some details on what's going to be in this vehicle, range, and all things like that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be the electric Telluride, but we'll find out for sure. And speaking of that brand, why are some car insurance companies dropping them and Hyundai owners? Well, you probably have heard about some of this going on. We'll cover it in detail. It's just, it ain't right.
No, it's not, and we'll talk about that. And then Nissan is getting out of the full-size pickup truck market, and they're going into another segment. So we'll probably be saying goodbye to the Titan, which is a shame. Nice truck. But we'll be saying hello to something else, and we'll tell you what that something else might be. Right, Les?
Well, that's right. As long as they bring something else out, we're okay.
Yeah.
And at Mercedes, they say they have the first level 3 semi-autonomous car approved for U.S. roads. These are big steps.
Yeah, they are big
that
steps.
We've talked about a lot, and we'll certainly talk about this.
Yeah. And I'll have a review of the CT5, the Cadillac, talking about self-driving. This is the first time I got to use Super Cruise, and it works really well. And I was actually on the New Jersey Turnpike, which is a Super Cruise capable road, and it was pretty amazing. It was really
That's
amazing.
Cool.
I can't wait to share my experience. And thankfully, it was just me in the car because I think my wife would have been pretty upset if I took my hands off the wheel.
Yeah.
And I put them on my knees. I didn't cross them over my chest the way some people do, but I just I put my knees up and had my hands there, so they were fairly close to the wheel if something went wrong.
You need to be paying attention.
Paying attention, yeah, but it's pretty amazing stuff, and I'll have a full review of that car. It's a great car to take a long trip in. Super smooth and really nice. So, we'll have that at the wheel coming up in a little bit. Also going to tell you about when and where Subaru will reveal their new Crosstrek, their 2024 model. As you know, the 2023 model was supposed to be the 2024 model. They couldn't do it due to part shortages and chip shortages, So the new one is coming out in 2024. When we come back, though, it's details on the EV9, the all-electric, full-size SUV from the folks over at Kia. So stay tuned to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. He's Les Jackson. We will be right back.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. I'm Les, he's Fred, and we are actually rather excited about this first story, and that's the Kia EV9, which is their electric. We're saying it's the electric Telluride. We think it will be, but we're not saying that with any authority.
We do have some leaks, though. I mean, not us personally.
That's right, but we can tell you what the price is. That's been leaked already. It's $56,000.
Yeah.
Which is kind of Telluride-ish.
Yeah. I mean, this comes from, Les, a customer survey by Kia to Telluride owners. So those are the folks they were appealing to.
Yeah.
And it appears to leak things like specs, trims, pricing structure. So $56,000 starting price. And this came from the publication Electric, E-L-E-C-T-R-E.
Electric. That's a great name for an electric SUV.
E-L-E-C-T-R-E-K. Yeah. And they sent a copy of this to CarBuzz, and so we're just telling you kind of where it comes from. 3-row crossover, start at $56,000. Range topping $73,000, and 3 trims be priced from $61,000 to $63,000 and $68,000. 2 powertrains, and one boasting 200 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a lot, and the other up to 400 horsepower. There will be dual motor, all-wheel drive variants, and single motor models, and 0 to 60 of 5.2 seconds. And 6 flat for all-wheel drive models. Interesting stuff here.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a lot of horsepower, though, nowadays.
Well, it
for
doesn't sound
cars.
like it, but it's plenty.
Yeah.
It's all torque.
Trim 2 will have the best range at 290 miles as a result of a battery pack. The mid-spec Trim 3 range is said to have 260 miles, 260 miles of range, with the base model will have 220 miles. Seating capacity varies between 6 and 7 seats. And upper trim swap out second row bench for 2 captain's chairs. Nothing unusual there when it comes to large
quite
SUVs.
a thing.
And it's based on Hyundai's eGMP platform. I think they said it's going to have a 4,500-pound towing capability too, and there'll be a $4,800 semi-autonomous driving package also available. Big hit. Put your predicta hat on there, Les Jackson. Big hit for the folks at Kia.
I think so. I think. Well, certainly, you've got a massive following for the Telluride.
Mm-hmm.
And a certain number of those people are probably looking for an electric version of it. So, yeah, I think if I had to buy stock, I would buy stock.
All right. Well, that's good news for the folks at Kia, and we certainly like that. They've always been good to the show as far as coming on and talking about things. There is some bad news for Kia. And according to the St. Louis Dispatch, the thefts of Kias and Hyundais jumped 1,450% last year in that city. From 273 to 309, from 273 to 3,958. As a result, major insurers like Progressive and State Farm are refusing to insure those models in the area. There have even been some reports, basically these models that are getting stolen are the ones that have key. You start them with a key, not a button, and they're models like the Veloster, Sportage, Soul, and because they do not have they have an ignition system that can be easily defeated. Unfortunately, there was online videos on one certain platform and a group that targeted these vehicles and showed videos on how to steal these vehicles. So some manufacturers are not even just not insuring these cars that start with the key, the more of the base models. They're just not insuring Kias and Hyundais at all.
Yeah, this is, first of all, this is, literally throwing out the baby with the bathwater. It's wrong on the part of the insurers. Certainly don't insure the key start models, but that's in the computers. You can figure out which ones those are. I'm not sure it's legal. But, I don't know anything about insurance law, but I'm sure there's a lobbyist right here in Washington who can tell me.
I've got 2 words: kill switch. Put one into your car.
I've got 2 more words: stick shift.
Stick shift. Yeah, they'll never be able to move it.
They won't start it. They go, what the heck is this extra? What's this thing? And this pedal?
We'll be right back on Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Let's see, Fred. We're not very happy about the insurance company.
Well, no. I mean, they have to kind of nip this in the bud, as Barney Fife would have said, Kia and Hyundai, because if people just look at Kia vehicles or Hyundai vehicles as targets, even though they might not have the key-operated ignition, they're just going to be punching windows in and wrecking Kias just to think they can start them. There's always someone that doesn't get the full message that, no, it's just certain models. But
that's true. But the insurance companies can simply adjust their rates accordingly. Right now, not insuring them is like saying, well, I'm not insuring your house because it can catch on fire.
Because ranches like yours seem to catch on fire. Well, we've got another story here, and I'm going to do an impromptu as the Tesla turns. And some of this is not bad information for Tesla per se. But let's talk about this situation now with Tesla. Tesla has cut prices on their vehicles with the goal of selling 2 million vehicles this year. That's what they've done. They've cut the prices, and it's caused problems for both Tesla and other EV manufacturers. For Tesla, they can't keep up. They can't keep up with the volume of orders, and they're looking to build 2 million vehicles. So they have 1.5 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck.
Oh yeah, well. Not in the present human species lifetime.
So what happened is they can't keep up with the orders. And then other manufacturers like Lucid can't decrease their price to match or get within the ballpark
No.
of Tesla. So they're losing out on sales because now they're much more expensive. So you have that situation. And then there's this other brand. You were talking about someone you spoke to in the automotive industry and who said he knew the quality wasn't up there on Tesla. He happened to own one. But, according to S&P Global Mobility, Tesla keeps new customers better than any other brand. They just keep coming back. They're loyal to the brand.
Well, yeah, because there's a certain, and we've discussed this with other people in the industry as well, there's a certain cultishness
Like Apple.
to some of the owners.
He used Apple as a model.
Right. Apple's a great example.
Yeah.
It's just, it overcomes any degree of objectivity
Right.
on the part of the owner.
Yeah. I remember being in an Apple store and a guy said, well, that's why I stay away from Bill and whatever guy that worked there. I said, Bill who? Bill Gates. I don't do anything with anything from Bill Gates and Microsoft. And it's like, do you know Bill Gates? No. Do you know anything about Bill Gates other than Microsoft? No. Okay. So it's sort of like that with Tesla. Yeah, I never get an electric car unless it was a Tesla, right?
Yeah, and it's I know a couple Tesla owners, and they freely admit that they aren't well made, but they're devoted to them. And for people like you and me, if it's no good, I say it's no good, and I'll never own another one.
Right,
and
I'm not going to
If there was any way I could, sue for the problems I'd have with this, I would.
Well, you look at that. Some of their things like the leather or the finish or whatever it is coming off the steering wheel after like a few months. I mean, that just doesn't happen anymore in cars, and it's almost like going back to the 1970s or something. I don't know. It's like the quality. It's like it just doesn't matter. Things that don't fit, doors that don't open, roof that flies off. Dirt when you get your new car. It's like someone's greasy paw was on the white upholstery, and they don't even bother to clean it off. To me they're just thrown together. But that's us. We talk about that a lot. But
that's right.
Let's jump on to our segue with insurance, because we talked about certain insurance companies not want to insure Kias and Hyundais because of the rash of thefts of some of the lower end models that have a key ignition. We'll have to see what Kia and Hyundai do about that. They might recall those and make some kind of anti-theft setup on there. But Tesla and insurance companies are disagreeing on expensive repairs. The insurance companies, in many cases, like they use an example of Model Y, they rather just total them and not repair them. Musk says that's wrong, that they should be repaired, and that the insurance companies are wrong to write them off. But the insurance companies are saying it's just not worth repairing them, so they're totaled out.
This is an interesting argument because, and I will agree that when Musk says most accidents, crashes, thank you very much, are actually small, broken fender, scratched side of the car. Sure, the insurance company should cover that. But if it's been pushed in the back or the front, and there is some reasonable expectation that the battery pack has been damaged, that's $22,000.
And also, pretty much they use the rule of thumb: if airbags deploy,
right?
Unless it's for some reason the airbag deployed and you can repair the vehicle, but in most cases. Reuters analyzed this over 120 total Model Ys. They looked at that, and the majority of them had less than 10,000 miles, with prices ranging from $60,000 to $80,000. And as Reuters says, the math just doesn't add up for repair. They are headed to the scrap heap. Although I take the drivetrain out and put it in something cool.
Well, sure. Part it out.
Yeah. Musk disagrees with this, and that's why he's getting into insurance. And he can sell you insurance for the vehicle at 30% less than the other insurance companies. I think this might be a trend where we see insurance in-house. So. You can roll the cost of it in when you buy your monthly payments. Makes it easier. Maybe you're given access to OEM parts. You know, who knows? Maybe many dealers have collision shops. Who knows? Maybe that's a good way. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Maybe that is a good idea. Who knows? What's your thoughts?
I have long thought that I wondered why the manufacturers over the years haven't started their own insurance companies. It's a huge profit center.
Huge profit center. As I say, tie it in. Say, you know what you're getting. If you get in an accident, you're going to get OEM parts. You're going to get a factory-trained person to repair it. You know, we know all the ins and outs of it.
All other product makers offer warranties, extended warranties, which effectively is insurance,
right,
for their stuff.
Well,
now, anyway.
On top of this, Musk says he's going to redesign some of the vehicles so that they are there's less money needed for collision repairs, and I mean this has been around for a while where they've done that, right?
Yeah, he'll be putting much thinner gauge parts on them, and the use of more wood.
Yeah, we're going to go with 2x6s instead of 2x4s in the next one.
But they'll be treated 2x6s.
Yeah, we're treated. We're talking about how he sometimes will use zip ties to hold the cars together. But hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about Nissan getting out of the full-size pickup truck market and Mercedes having the first Level 3 autonomous vehicles approved for U.S. roads. All that and more coming up on Cruise Control. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. This is your automotive magazine of the air.
I like your unique take on the on-air automotive magazine.
Thank you.
But
yes, well, for some reason, I did not want to go back to discussing Tesla.
You just had enough, right?
But, well, yeah.
How about Nissan?
Sooner.
How about Nissan?
Nissan is excellent. It's a good company, and, you know, they really don't do as big a business as I think they should.
Well, you know, one of the areas where I remember when this vehicle was released, and I remember driving earlier versions of it, was their Titan pickup. And they made a big deal about building it in Texas. And here's the funny, weird fact I remember about this. Not this current generation, but the initial generation. They said we put a big bumper on it because in Texas people like to drive through the gates without opening them. It's like, I think they said that to me, and I was like, why would you smash the front of a brand new trunk?
I remember that. Yeah.
With a, you know, like, That's something you do with like an old beat up truck. You're not going to do that with your brand new pickup truck. No, they like to do that. It's like, okay, whatever. Then I would put it like a piece of plywood on the front or something to prevent it. But
That's right.
But it appears that we told you about this on Cruise Control, that they're getting out of the full-size pickup truck market. But according to Automotive News, it looks like they are going to make an electric Frontier pickup truck to replace their full-size gas-powered truck. And it kind of makes sense. You think about this because they need a big engine for this truck. Currently, I think it's a V6. Previously, it's been that 5-liter V8, the only vehicle that went in, or it was a 5.6. I guess they do have that van, that high-top van that they sell,
right.
that 5.6 goes in. Before that, it was a 5-liter V8 Cummins engine, which is not even made anymore, I don't think. So, really, this was an outlier in their lineup, and they feel that an electric Frontier pickup truck, the smaller Frontier pickup truck, which is a really nice truck. I mean, I've reviewed that. I think you may have driven that as well. That's a really nice vehicle, and they're going to make an electric version of it. What do you think of that?
Well, they made one in 2019, which I never knew. It was a different EV, little, Nissan truck, and so they've got some experience here.
Mm-hmm.
That was called the Rich 6, which I don't know why.
Sounds like an action movie. The Rich
It
6.
does.
Yeah.
But in any case, it's got a 68 kilowatt battery pack, 160 horsepower, but over 300 pound-feet of torque, so it's plenty.
Yeah.
Good range.
It will be interesting to see what they come up with, but I find it interesting that the mid-size pickup market and even the smaller market has become huge. There's talk, of course, you think about the Ford Maverick, you think about Chevy talking about getting into an electric mid-size pickup truck. It's really heated up. It was a dead part of the segment.
Remember 10 years ago, nobody was making them.
Right. 10 years ago, Ford said, "Why we would rather sell an F-150, get someone into an F-150 that might not be a high-end truck, than sell them, let's say, a Ranger for less money, or now even something for less money than a Ranger, a Maverick, if you can get it." Yeah, you always have to say that with the Maverick.
That's right.
It's a great truck,
That's right.
if you can get it.
It's terrific. It's a wonderful, smooth, quiet truck.
Yeah.
But wish you well if you want one.
If you want one, yeah. Well, it's kind of dropped off here, the discussion of autonomous driving vehicles. And sadly, I think Tesla might really put a negative image on self-driving vehicles because of their autopilot discussion. But meanwhile, other manufacturers have been working on it and perfecting it and, getting it approved for U.S. roads. And Mercedes has come up with something called the Drive Pilot system. It will be available in the U.S. on 2024 S-Class and EQS sedan models, and will be first delivered to customers in the second half of 2023. This is, they say, the only SAE Level 3 system in a standard production vehicle authorized to be used on U.S. public freeways, and it complies with the requirements of the Nevada chapter of automotive safety, and hence that's why they are revealing it in Las Vegas on the Las Vegas Strip. Now, it sounds great, but when you read into it, there are limitations. It will allow you to go pretty much hands-free on certain highways, but at speeds only up to 40 miles an hour. So
Well,
you think of a highway, even most highways are higher speed than that, aren't they?
yeah, they are. But bear in mind that level 3 isn't level 4 or 5, and so it has to be capable of safely controlling the car under virtually any circumstance. So you're limited in speed, limited in the road type.
Well, I'll ask. I'm a bit confused on the levels here because I'll ask you this. I'm going to review the Super Cruise equipped CT5, right? And I had that on the New Jersey Turnpike. I could drive hands-free for quite some time, and I was at 65 miles an hour with traffic. That's the speed limit, you know?
Yeah.
And only certain roads, and New Jersey Turnpike happens to be one of them. It said Super Cruise available. It will do lane changes on its own, you know? How is that? What level is that, and how does that compare to what Mercedes is talking about here?
That's level 3 technology.
Okay.
Okay, steering, braking,
lane changing,
the whole, when you hit the turn signal, it'll change the lane for you.
Yes, it would say looking if it's clear, and then it would change lanes. The only thing it didn't do is it wouldn't shut the turn signal off, which is weird. I don't know why that.
But level 3 also has legal requirements that have to be met.
Okay.
And they're different in the U.S. than they are in Europe. But the SAE, in combination with the equivalent groups in Europe and Asia, have established standards that are both technical and legal. So even you and I have driven a bunch of level 3 capable vehicles, but they don't meet the legal requirements.
Well, there's certainly limited. I mean, as is Super Cruise. I never had been on a road. I've had Super Cruise equipped vehicles, but I've been on highways with them, but I had never been on roads that allow them, and New Jersey Turnpike is one of them.
Yeah, I've never been on a road that is
Super Cruise approved
for cruising, and all of that is part of all of the infrastructure that's being redone, the remapping of the GPS system, the phase-in of V2V, vehicle-to-vehicle communication.
Right.
Vehicle to X, which is vehicle to everything around it.
We're seeing new LiDAR being put on vehicles in kind of a smaller packaging.
And sensors that are weatherproof.
Right.
You can't have a sensor on the outside and it gets rain and snow on it.
Right, and can't look like a swirling barber pole on a radio transmitting tower on top of your
Google
roof.
car does not qualify.
I mean, it might work well, but it's like,
sure.
Look, that looks dumb. So, it was an exciting experience. I'll tell you about it more after the break when we talk about this CT5 and do an at the wheel. I should mention this, if you're a Subaru fan, looks like the Subaru Crosstrek, the new version, the 2024 version, will be revealed on February 9th at 10 a.m. at the Chicago Auto Show. You can go to Subaru.com/2024 Crosstrek if you want to get information. They have a little teaser photo there. But, hey, we will talk Cadillac CT5 and Super Cruise at the wheel when we come back on Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. I think we covered a lot of topics so far here on Cruise Control, and we're going to have an at-the-wheel review because we love to drive them and talk about them. This time around, it is the 2023 CT5 Cadillac premium luxury vehicle. Great sedan. Really good all the way around. This had a 3-liter twin-turbo V6, 335 horsepower, beautifully packaged engine. I tell you, it was a nice vehicle. A nice vehicle to take on a long trip. Of course, ours is the luxury version of it, but you can get the V Series too, which would pump up the horsepower not that much more. It's basically a different tune on the same engine. It would go up from 335 to 360. But if you want the real animal here, you would get the CT5 Black Wing, which that has a big LS V8 in it with a manual transmission, over 600 horsepower. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about the premium luxury. Beautiful car. Shot in midnight steel metallic. Nice, elegant color. We do real-world reviews here. As you can see, there was crud on the car from actually driving it down the New Jersey Turnpike on a very cold day with some salt on the road. On the inside, we had a Sedona Sauvage interior with jet black accents. Some people thought it was a weird combination. I liked it with the metallic blue. And the interior, very luxurious. A lot of additional carbon fiber on the door cards. Switchgear, same switchgear. I remember this switchgear for the head-up display in Corvettes from the early 2000s. They have not changed their switchgear at GM. Beautiful carbon fiber inserts on the door cards. Nice mix of black leather and that Sedona kind of orangey tan type look. Really nice job on those door cards. Some of the infotainment, kind of old school with the rock back and forth knob on the center console, but it got it done. The navigation system worked just fine. And one of the nice things for the different modes you can go into, you can really dial them in for steering feel, engine shift feel, brake feel, engine sound. So you can really drill down on them when you want to, and you can make your own mode. Rear seat passengers, not bad on the leg room. Still the same great carbon fiber trim on the back seat. But one thing I noticed is the roofline comes down pretty significantly, so it kind of makes it hard to get in. You have to bend over. Not a lot of amenities on the rear seat. 12-volt plug and a USB-C, one USB-C charger. It would have been nice to see more amenities for rear seat passengers. But overall quality cabin. As I say, that rear door opening, kind of tight. It's sort of a fastback design. The roof comes down pretty significantly, and the dog leg comes in pretty significantly into the door opening. Out back, decent-sized trunk, nicely finished. Battery on the left-hand side, so that goes back there to give some room up front. A little storage on the right-hand side. Underneath, you've got, I believe there's no spare tire. I believe it's just an inflator, actually. I believe someone took that out. Under the hood, as I said, you can either get a 2-liter turbo with 237 horsepower. We opted for the 3-liter twin turbo with 335 horsepower. Power flows through a 10-speed automatic, which was beautifully paired like wine and cheese. I like the job the Cadillac engineers have done under the hood. A really, really clean look. Nice engine cover there. That calls out the twin-turbo engine. Overall, great design. CT5 is now the biggest sedan since the CT6 is no more in the U.S. at least. It's still available in China. But CT5 is the biggest sedan available. Of course, they also sell the CT4, which is a little bit smaller. So let's take a look at some of the features on this. And this vehicle was definitely optioned up. It starts at $42,195. And then we opted for the Platinum package with the Ultra View sunroof, technology package, lighting package, the upgraded interior with the higher-end leather, seats up front, driver and front passenger, power lumbar massage, front passenger manual cushion length adjust. That is that little area where you can support your rear legs. I don't really need that as much as some other people. Less if you're really tall, you might need that, but I'm not really tall, so it doesn't really. Yeah, if I put that out, I feel like I can't put my legs down. So seat back bolster adjustment, pedals, alloy, navigation, and Bose premium audio package. Super Cruise 2 package, $6,940. And there's an active subscription, by the way, required for Super Cruise. It is a active subscription. I don't know how much it is afterwards, but that twin turbo V6, $3,500 edition, all-wheel drive, $2,000. Not bad for all-wheel drive. I would opt for that. The Midnight Steel metallic paint, $625 extra. All told, total options, $22,165. Kicks the whole thing up with destination to $65,755. That's what I say. Could we pop for an extra USB plug on the rear seat passengers for that price? I think so. I think they could do better than one, don't you? That's all you get. You get a 12-volt that no one uses and the USB-C. So it's up there. It's a nice vehicle. I love the way it drove. Super Cruise. Okay. It can only work on certain roads. I've had vehicles with Super Cruise. I have not had a road where it could work. I was heading down to my in-laws in New Jersey, and I was on the turnpike. It said Super Cruise available. I turned it on and tentatively left my hands off the steering wheel. Of course, it gives you the indication in the steering wheel rim, the green. You get a green light that says you're good to go. And I kind of sat there. I put my knees up and had my hands on my knees just because I wasn't going to, start reading a book or something. No, I had them at the near ready, in the near ready mode. And yeah, it drives along. I was driving along 65 miles an hour, just fine. And I tried the turn, change lanes. I put the signal on. It says looking to change lanes. It would look. It changed lanes beautifully, smoothly. It wasn't like, radically twisting the steering wheel, like rolling the car. Very smooth. The only thing it didn't do, it didn't turn off the turn signal. I don't know why that is. You would think they could do that part, but I changed left and right, and it was fine. I tell you what bothered me being on Super Cruise. Everyone passes now on the right. I'm in the middle lane doing 65, keeping a good distance from the traffic, moving along fine. People pass you doing 85 in the right-hand lane. And that was a little weird when you're not holding on to the wheel, because all of a sudden they come up in your peripheral vision, and you're like, whoa, what's that? Where are they going? So that I had to get used to that. It was a weird feeling to see people coming up on your right really fast and you're not holding on to the steering wheel. But there you have it, the 2023 CT5 Premium Luxury from Cadillac. Cool vehicle, Super Cruise, worked really well. Hey, it's time for me to say I'm Fred Staab. We're going to see you down the road.